Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Champions Cup, and this one is a final repeat of what we saw in last year's championship final, or last season's championship final. Bordeaux taking on Northampton. Now, if it is anything like the last time these two sides played, this game will be full of action, full of incredible moments, and hopefully it's relatively close. We've just covered a pretty one-sided affair. On the other side of things, there was a match between Toulon and Munster that just took place, and that game was extremely close. So we'll wait and see what we get for this game. But looking through at the starting lineups, both sides stacked with talent, but particularly this back line of Bordeaux is the one to keep an eye out for. Damien Penaud out on one wing. They've got Biel out on the other. Jalibert starting as the 9. Page Rello's in there. Jalibert, 10. Page Rello as the 9. Salisi Rayasi, he's actually signed a slightly longer contract with Bordeaux now, so obviously liking what they've been seeing from him. Man who was at the Hurricanes initially, he has kind of moved around a little bit, Salisi Rayasi, including some time for the Flying Fijians and just recent international rugby as well. But in terms of this Northampton side, they have got their fair share of talent across their team too. Quite a few English internationals starting in this matchup. There is Alex Coles, there's Henry Pollock, the youngster, Alex Mitchell's there, Ollie Slateholme, Tommy Freeman, and also the very quick Joe Hendy as that number 15. We have got the I Love Your Panda shirt, Amish. It's Sunday, and I did stock Benji. So you need a thick skin. Looking smart, though, and ready for the game, you legend you, says Ruby. And there as well. And it is greatly appreciated you guys all being here for this contest. Like I mentioned, a repeat of the final that we saw last year. So, of course, it's going to be an absolutely awesome contest. I keep on... Oh, it is actually last year. It's 2026, isn't it? So that last statement was actually right. I forgot that we're in the new year. It's come around so fast. It's almost the Rugby World Cup 2027. But looking at the way that the table sits at the moment for this group, there we go. We will put it up there. So currently, the only two sides left to play in this round of the Champions Cup are Northampton and Bordeaux. They both sit on 10 points. Whoever wins this game more than likely will jump up into number 1 if they do receive that bonus point for scoring 4 or more tries. But if not, Bristol, they're sitting pretty nicely. Now, I will mention that Bristol, they do have a game around the corner, and they are going head-to-head up against Bordeaux. That is taking place next week. So Northampton, the door is absolutely wide open. If they can pull off the upset win and win away from home here, their next game is going to be up against the Scarlets, which if they somehow lost that game, it would be extremely surprising with how the Scarlets form has been. Just as of late, last decent rugby South Africa is useless in the competition, says Trump. And also Bordeaux to win, says Mukesh. Yeah, do let me know your score predictions for this contest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping it's close, but I do think that both of these sides, even the loser, I think will score a bonus point for 4 or more tries. Although defence is one thing that both of these sides can also pride themselves on. We've seen Bordeaux concede quite a few tries, but they always like scoring a few more than the opposition. And we have got the Hey Bordeaux, probably need to win. If they want a top seed, Glasgow will probably beat Sarries next week. By a bonus point, Bordeaux have Bristol next week at the Ashton Gate, and Northampton have the Scarlets at home. Says Kahu there, and Bordeaux. 1 cheers. I know it's not the new year. It's 2026. You are ahead of yourself, Hamish. Says Padza. And they're doing 35-33. That would be a great game if that was the score we saw. And I placed a bet on Bordeaux winning the first half, but I am a bad bettor, says Ruby. You also mentioned that you stocked your fridge full of alcohol. So hopefully you did bet on a sober mind rather than a drunk one. We have their Bordeaux wine cheers, and Bordeaux have the talent, but they can match the strength of the Saints. But can they match the strength of the Saints? Yeah, their backline is absolutely world class. In fact, both of these sides really do have stacked backlines. So I feel like it's a battle of the forward packs. Cameron Walkie is in there, the international for the French. It's just tricky to know who's going to actually get the advantage at set piece. Bordeaux's scrum's pretty solid, so that might help out, but yeah, it's a bit of a 50-50 in terms of the forwards, I do have to say, which is good because, I mean, the backlines can definitely win this game, but the forwards might be the one who give them the opportunity to. I'm never drunk. I'm just more reasonable at times. And morning, Hamish, looking forward to this one, says Starts Race here. This is definitely one that people would have set the alarms for here in New Zealand. Anyone who has been following the Champions Cup. Their next game also, Toulouse versus Saracens. That's another one that some people will be keeping an eye on. As where you always just skip my BS, says Padza. But I read that one. Unless you're talking about stuff that happened beforehand. I see you said Hamish go to bed. I've just scrolled up to see it. But I do my best to try and read all yours. The messages from you, Paddy. Definitely because it's currently 4:15 and you were supposed to be sleeping 3 hours or so ago by the sounds of it. But you can't sleep. So you might as well watch a bit of rugby. But the Northampton side, they are wearing the bright orange and yellow kit. They've got an advantage already. Even though we're only 10 seconds into this contest, I believe that was for a knock-on against Bordeaux. See who can get that real big impact early on in this contest. Now using the back line, Henry Pollock steps inwards, runs it straight at Deportier. I know like you don't reply to it, says Padza. I mean, for that one, you just said that it wasn't a new year, which, I mean, depends on how you look at it, isn't it? But now going in behind, it's going to be a kick by Bordeaux. It rolls into touch, and 30 metres out from the line, it will be the Northampton line out. We have got there. Hamish, stay with us for just one more game, says Ruth. And Saints go march it on, says Ruth. And time goes fast. World Cup is up again soon, says Trump. And yeah, the Rugby League World Cup taking place very shortly. That is actually the 2026 Rugby Type World Cup. I think the Sevens World Cup also this year, which it feels like it hasn't been 4 years since the last one. And that might be because it hasn't. I'm not sure whether or not that was the year that the Sevens World Cup took place. Now, backline movement just knocked on by Northampton. Early mistake from them with the handling department too. He's staying because we need something to dream about later. See, how am I supposed to reply to that one, Paddy? You kind of, you back me into a corner with that one. Bordeaux need to hoof it really quick, says Ruth. Padza, you naughty boy, says Ruth. 90 seconds in, we've seen a handling error from both of these sides at this point in time. Time was Ollie Slate home. The pass was a little bit behind him, so you can understand why Mr. Rugby Universe will implode. There is no Hamish. My Rugby Universe will implode. Stormers only team to lose one game, says Mohadin. As in like this round, we saw the Sharks, the Bulls, they both lost. The Lions won in the Challenge Cup, but no South African side have won in the Champions Cup this round. We saw the Black Lions win in the Challenge Cup too, though. And also, hopefully, it's a draw, Glasgow fan, says Kahu. Yeah, see, it's a tricky one for Glasgow, isn't it? Because they just kind of have to wait and see. They've got the game next week. Of course, they will want to get themselves the big bonus point victory in, just like they have throughout their other contests. But 2.5 minutes in, we've got us another scrum reset. Who's going to score first, Hamish? I think that Bordeaux will. To be fair, they're at home. So I think the props need a bit of loving. Carlos Sadie or maybe Perot, whose name I mispronounced. So I should have just stuck with Sadie. And I mean for Champions Cup, says Mahadine, a lot of sides have lost in the Champions Cup. Like, no one can be undefeated. Or like in the whole group, like there has to be at least a few losers. Cross kick, Damien Pinot, unable to get it all. Okay, Pinot was trying to say that maybe Hendy knocked it in touch, similar to what we saw in that game earlier on in the weekend. Pinot looks gobsmacked at the moment. He is confused at how it was against him, but he did touch it first, I believe. Oh no, it's played backwards by Gold. Now, you could argue, did Joe Hendy try and catch it? It's not me, Padza is sleeping. Now, Bordeaux, they are in the perfect position to get a rolling maul going. 3.5 minutes in already. And Sharks couldn't lose. That's true. The Sharks did win, the Sharks did lose. But who was who? I was going to say the rest of a random poem, but I couldn't think of one. Nicely taken by Cameron Walkie. And now, this is a good position. Bordeaux, side shuffling at the moment towards the sideline. And they will go off the back now using Jean-Luc Dupré. Player was very unlucky in terms of his Springbok minutes throughout 2025. Always was thereabouts, but didn't really get massive opportunity. Now go on left-hand side. Big collision there again with Mathieu. Taking his time here, Paige Rello working out what the best option is. The Italian international, Cameron Walkie, now recycles quickly, going back across Adam Coleman. Pops it in mind to Salisi Reyasi. He's been such a dangerous threat for Bordeaux on attack, and he's going to get within a couple of metres here. Paige Rello joins the breakdown, so Pinot plays half. Now Dupree again runs there. Henry Pollock who rips the ball off him. The Englishman getting it off the South African there. Alex Mitchell sitting 4 metres out from their own line here. Northampton, not a lot of space to be able to work with at the moment. If Bordeaux wins, Bristol really controls their own destiny. Playing Bordeaux at home. Seen this before and I will say it again. Elon needs to use Hamish for a rugby AI prototype. He knows everything, just listen long enough. Says Ruby. And can Stormers still win the Championship Cup? They absolutely can, but they have to make sure they win their game up against Leicester, because if they lose that one, then they could actually miss out on the top 4 of that group and end up in the Challenge Cup. But a big collision between Henry Pollock and Jean-Luc Dupree as he rips the ball off him. He was close to being grounded, just couldn't quite get that knee down though. Hey, Jalibert, hello, says Ruth. And come on, where'd that go? Come on, let's hope Pollock scores first just to piss everyone off. Well, even him ripping that ball off Jean-Luc Dupree, will be Jean-Luc Dupree. He's through a gap, offloads there just 10 metres out from the line for Bordeaux. Trying to rip this ball away. That might be close to cynical from Northampton. Can't end up with the ball. Now Paige Rello. Although I'm still going with Carlos Sadie or the Bordeaux number 1. I'm giving the props a little bit of support here. Just a metre out. He's going to reach there. Oh, they've called him as short. He got that ball down by the looks of it, Chazot. Or Cazot, I should say. I think he got that one over the line. And, well, cricket was blown right open. But don't say anything. No spoilers, because I've made it this far without knowing who's going to win that game. And I'm really hoping I'll make it to the end of this live stream without knowing as well, so that I can then watch it later on during the day. What's the weather like in the crowd? It looks like decent weather, although a little bit overcast, and the crowd sounds loud. I haven't seen too much of the stands as of yet. Right, they're checking to see if he's reached the line there. Looks pretty good. Oh, actually, looked pretty good, but was it just short? From that other angle, that may not have actually made its way over. I've said there that the original decision was no try. It's very hot in Cape Town, says Mohadin. Do you think they win next week? I think they should be able to get themselves the win at home. But we'll wait and see. Right, this one's right on the try line. So the on-field decision was no try. Checking for the grounding. I don't think this is going to be clear and conclusive, in which case they should have kept going. That gets a 361 for 1 after 1 over, says Pads Ablaze. It's sizzling in Cape Town, says Ruth. So how hot is it temperature-wise in Cape Town at the moment, Ruth? Do let me know. So we're at about 28 degrees Celsius, which is it's very warm for here. But the thing is, the sun was out, it was raining, and then we had a wind warning. So it was a bit of everything. Right, what's the call here from the referee? I think this one's going to be no try for being just short. And it's going to be a scrum 5 metres out from the line, actually in favour of Bordeaux, which they won't mind. That'll actually put them in a very good position here. Okay, it looks like maybe a little bit of a from Maxime Lemuth, the captain. He didn't look like he believed that one didn't get touchdown. Rassi, I must take the Stormers over Sia Kolisi. I will be the best Stormers. Northampton, just because Henry Pollock is in that team, says Martin. And it's about 30. Yesterday was 45. And Crikey thought it was good enough for a try myself, says Studs Race. Yeah, the way that he kind of stopped and looked at the referee after grounding it kind of makes you think like he felt something was down in that scenario. But yeah, there was no try in the end. But they are still very good position on the field here, Bordeaux. Straight out in front of the posts. Chance to add the additional try to what has been a very extensive tally of tries for them throughout the last 12 months. Try time, says Ruth. And it's warm here today at 4 degrees. Nice, solid. We're 9 degrees Celsius at the moment. But you're during the day, aren't you, Fleischer? Now big scrum and advantage in their favour. That looked like almost a knock-on from Paige Rello. Pops it up to Riassi. And he will score the try. The Fijian international gets another one. Bordeaux, they'll be more than happy that they locked his contract in, because he has been a bit of a standout for them since signing for them. But 7 minutes in, and the champions of the Champions Cup getting themselves their first try up against the runner-ups. Right, they've said dominating the first 6 minutes in terms of possession. We did see that early drop ball from Northampton. That was the last time that they touched the ball, 21 degrees here. And 21. Says Bads Blaze. I haven't seen that movie in a long... Wait, no. I just confused 21 with my name's Jeff. It's not good, is it? 21 Jump Street, at least is the name of it, I guess. So, like, that counts, right? That one's missed away to the side, so we'll make the score 5-0 for Bordeaux. Try, says Ruth. And Bordeaux, boom, says Ruth there too. But yeah, Paige Rello, he's done well to get that pass away. Even though it did bounce, it still bounced into the hands of Salisi Arayasi. And as soon as he had that momentum, he was going. Arayasi keeps delivering, says Studs Race. Yeah, how many tries has he scored for Bordeaux since signing for them? Or at least how many tries has he been involved for? It's got to be plenty, doesn't it? So, like, whoever signed that contract, they'll be like, yep, we did the right thing. On off to the left-hand side, Northampton now in a bit of possession until they drop that ball and giving it straight back to Bordeaux. Cameron Walkie, who's up to the halfway line. Hamish got a contract for the Stormers from April. Now kicked in behind. It could be a 50-22. Oh, Alex Mitchell's foot was so close to the sideline there. And he does get kicked in a touch. A very good boot downfield. 21, what's that about 21 balloons? We have there. Did you watch the Stormers get destroyed? I did, and not only that, I commentated it. Watching it in the flesh was pretty brutal. You have to say for the Stormers, but they'll bounce back. Yep, the afternoon. It's about -1 normally, so it's flip-flop weather now. Says Fleshing. And also April says Mahadin and unsub says Pads, and however many tries Bordeaux has scored, divide that by 2, and that's how many he's involved in, says Studs Race. Now Northampton, 40 metres out from the line. It just seems to be doing a lot right, and hopefully that transfers over to when he is playing for Fiji, definitely heading towards that Rugby World Cup in 2027. Now back across, Alex Mitchell, cross kick now, attempted Henry Pollock, great hands from him, chips it in behind. Build of brilliance, he rips the ball away, he scores a try, and it's a bloody good one too. That's going to annoy a lot of people, I can tell you that right now, but a finish and a half from Henry Pollock, took the cross kick, chipped it in behind. The crowd are booing him, and he's doing his pulse signal as well as the shush to the Bordeaux crowd as well. He's trying to collect countries that don't like him. And yeah, the crowd are not happy with that one from Henry Pollock. There is a bit of push and shove between the players as well, but the chip in behind, Damien Pinot thought he had it covered and then ripped off him by Pollock, who scores that one and does the big try dive too. I think Bordeaux will beat Bristol. They're just checking to see if he was in touch. He was absolutely fine. Annoy a lot of people. One of them is me, says Ruby. That's a class try. Kid's the real deal. It's a good try. And I just know that Facebook rugby groups are blowing up now. It's a little bit of pushing as well. The crowd are booing him, trying to say that maybe because he pushed a player after he scored the try, it shouldn't be a try. He's got his tongue out. He is clapping it as well. Okay, referee has just pretty much said anyone who does that afterwards is going to get... Okay, this game is not going to go down that way, says the referee. Our dude is a pro wrestling heel. He really is. He's the bad guy of rugby. And the thing is, he's only young. Go on, Pollock. If me as a Welshman, you have to love the twat, says Fleshin. That's the thing, like, he plays the not the bad guy, but he plays the annoyance so well that you can't help but kind of just admire the fact that he just doesn't care. Like, he has a lot of people who don't like him, but he's a very good player. And the way he's ripped that ball off Damien Pinot, he's so good. The rip, he's got more than 2 turnovers just from that last season, says Joe Fair. Sitting 7 points to 5 now. Bordeaux, they are down by the 2. And crowd booing him. Oh, he's dropped the ball there, though. The knock on from Henry Pollock. And just out from his own goal line, too. Giving Bordeaux a massive opportunity. And the crowd are letting him know about it now. He's holding the back of his head, saying that he took a bit of a shot on the ground. And love or hate him, Pollock is a great player. And his youth on his side. How old is Pollock? He's only like 21, I believe. I'm not sure what the crowd are chanting there. It might be something in French. He's 20 years of age. 14th of January he was born. And Bullock says, Badzer, I'm so nervous as a Glasgow fan. And so Pollock is the dude that gets under their skin like Dupont. I just want to know, or I just want you to know, I know the Stormers got humiliated today against Harlequins. Can they still qualify for the knockout rounds? They can. Because of that loss, I'll show you the group table. Now, this was before that last game. So, Harlequins have moved up to 11 with a really good points differential. It's penalty advantage in favour of Bordeaux as well. Thought about the inside pass, but Jalabert wasn't quite able to get it away. But yeah, at the moment, the Stormers sit on 9 points with a points differential of -10. So their game up against Leicester, whoever wins that game will qualify for the top 4. That is dependent on if La Rochelle get themselves the win over the Quins, which is expected to happen, but you never know with the way that Harlequins have just played. But yeah, if Harlequins or La Rochelle, let's say La Rochelle win that game, then Stormers versus Leicester becomes the playoff of who gets 4th and the other gets 5th, more than likely. We have got there, here's what rugby needs. We all hate him because he's English. So here's Fleshin. Well, that's the thing. Like, it's a personality, isn't it? And no 20-year-old, I would say, I'm just going to quickly check a player's age. Just quickly. We'll go like this. We'll go like this. We'll go like that. And like that. And like that. No other 20-year-old is talked about. I had to check how old Sasha was for a second. But yeah, no other 20-year-old has as much talk about him in the world of rugby as Henry Pollock does. Advantage there to Bordeaux, though. And this all came due to the Henry Pollock knock-on, giving Bordeaux a great chance on attack to get moving. The knees are down. They do have to release him. Now, Adam Coleman, he knows his rugby, is doing the talking. The rest is for drama, says DJ. Now, Paige Rello almost through, pops the pass up and doesn't find the gap, but they will go back for the original infringement at scrum time. Referee's keeping a close eye on the players, though. He knows that there's a bit of push and shove that will take place, because we've got to remember, it's not just the Pollock situation here, but it's the fact that these two sides met in the final last season and Bordeaux got the win. So, of course, that fires up Northampton, and with the fact that they are leading, take the 3, please. They're going scrum again, Pollock. Is he family of South African cricket Pollock family? No. No relation whatsoever to Henry Pollock there. But Bordeaux, some great atmosphere at the ground by the looks of it. Not an empty seat, at least that I can see. A lot of flags, a lot of singing as well. Crowd absolutely loving what they've seen for the first 14 minutes of this contest. Carlos Saidi, that scrum going head-to-head with Danilo Fischetti. I'm still saying that one of the 2 Bordeaux props are going to score a try in this game. Probably going to be wrong, but we'll see. Got to give the props a little bit of, I was going to say loving every once in a while, but it could be taken out of context. Now, advantage there again for Bordeaux at scrum time. So they are currently getting a lot right when it comes to that scrum. Another penalty that they will go back for. And Bordeaux don't go to sleep, says Roof. And already it looks like this referee is going to give a last warning to Northampton. We're only 14 minutes in and they can find themselves with a player in the bin. And someone else says Beds Ablaze, and neither team is built around one player. Says Eric, not at all. I mean, you look at this backline of Bordeaux. They've got Jalabert, which most teams would just take him by himself. Then you've got Bielbiaré, you've got Mofana, Deportier, Salisi Reasi has scored, Damien Pinot. So, like, yeah, neither side have got just one standout. For the Northampton side, you've got Alex Mitchell in the 9 jersey. You've got Henry Pollock, Tommy Freeman, Ollie Slateholm. So, like, yeah, both world-class teams. I wish I could watch French rugby daily. Says Katzenel. There you go, Bordeaux. Says Jonathan there. Oh, sorry, that was actually Johan. Right, the scrum has been warned. Warned Northampton. And like I said, it's far too early in the match to be getting your warning when it comes to scrum time. It could be a long day at the office. Paige Rello. Ready to put it in. They have actually got everyone situated on that left-hand side. But if I had to guess, I would say they're going to switch and go right now. Mathieu. They're moving forward nicely. Not too much movement at scrum time. So it is going to be a reset. You can see the pressure at the moment on Trevor Davison, Craig Wright, and Danilo Fischetti. Just don't seem to quite know how they're going to handle this scrum. I said weekly, mate. You must be very tired, says Katzenell. What did I say? Did I say daily? Or maybe I did. I'd watch French rugby daily if it was available here. We have to buy a top 14 Premier Pass to be able to watch it here in New Zealand. Now, ready to feed this scrum again. 10 metres out from the line, just a little bit over from the goal posts on the near side of the field. But again, a very good foundation, you'd have to say, for Bordeaux to get something moving. Cameron Walkie, big smile on his face. He's not actually wearing his mouth guard at scrum time. You'd assume that he puts it in after the scrum, right? Or else it's not allowed. I think you have to wear a mouth guard. He's decided at scrum time he doesn't have to. Okay, he's just going and giving the front row some support. Got another scrum reset. This bloody wind won't go away. Yeah, it was really blustery today for us, or yesterday for us here. Maybe that wind has headed up north. Well, you guys, in fact, I think it was windy in Wellington yesterday too, wasn't it? Because I think the Wellington Phoenix played and they were dealing with a lot of wind for that game. 16 and a half minutes through. Another scrum reset. Please tell me we're not going to have a half of just scrums. Don't get me wrong, I do like a scrum, but in moderation. Another big push, another advantage at scrum time. So Bordeaux are going to milk this all the way to the bank if they can. Double blow of the whistle. Referee goes to the pocket. This game's pretty much over. It's going to be a yellow for Northampton at scrum time. Number 3 going off. Trevor Davidson, the man who's been penalised. No, in fact, they're giving it. I think Danilo Fischetti's going off. The referee had a 3, though. I think Fischetti. Okay, now they have to wait for the replacement, and the scrum will be exactly the same. Been windy last 2 days. So here's Pads. Okay, Bordeaux Begles again are going to go for that scrum yet again. I just had a Madras curry, so yeah, windy here. Says Fleshin. What is a Madras curry? See, I'm a very basic boy, and I only ever get a butter chicken. Mild, because I can't handle spice. Ollie Slateholm is going to come off the field. Iogan comes on. I know my washing outside. That probably, yeah, washing at 4:30 a.m. Might be getting blown around a little bit. Might rain soon, says Padza. I don't know, Saints card yellow, says Ruth. Yeah, and I think Bordeaux, they won't be in any hurry to stop scrummaging here. They will go time and time and time again. Like they've said, 4 or 5 minutes already of scrums. Hot, but not that hot. Says Fleshin. And butter chicken yummy. Says Ruth there too. Now ready for scrum number, I want to say about scrum number 7. Okay, no gap in the scrum, so it's going to be another reset. Crowd is starting to get a little bit restless. I feel like I should sneak outside and get it. So here's Badza. Hopefully is it dark? Oh, yeah, it's still dark outside. Goes Madras hot, Vindaloo bit hotter, Foul super hot. So I should definitely never get the foul then. What's your favourite South African team? See, I struggle to pick a favourite team even anywhere in the world. I'll be honest, the Stormers have looked good this year, other than, of course, that most recent game up against the Quins. I have a bit of a soft spot for the Lions, only because compared to all the other teams, they don't have the same number of Springboks, yet they still seem to be relatively competitive. But like, I like the Bulls and I like the Sharks, so all of them. I don't really have a favourite though. Right, another scrum reset. A lot of scrum resets in this one. 18 minutes in. When did the scrum actually start? I think it started in about the 12th minute. We've been waiting so far. Already a minute and a half of the Northampton yellow card has expired. And the Lions says studs raised there. Right. Paige Rello puts it in. Bordeaux keeping that ball. That's a solid scrum. They've been told to use it. It almost could have gone the way of Northampton at scrum time there, but no advantage this time. Little chip in behind, attempted by Jamanier. Ball dropped by, oh no. It's the ball dropped by Northampton. So guess what? We get another scrum. We had 40 seconds of open play though. In fact, probably about 14 seconds in fact. They're asking whether or not there is another knock on beforehand from Bordeaux. Nah, it looked like it was Northampton who knocked that one on first. So it's going to be Bordeaux's ball. I just mentioned there, Jogan looked like he actually got the better of that scrum. 19 minutes and the crowd's still singing, already a quarter of the way through this matchup. As Harrison's versus Toulouse later, yeah, that's going to be a great game. It's one that I'm probably going to end up watching straight after work. Jean-Luc Dupré. He's got close to scoring. Oh, penalty to Northampton at scrum time. And that is a huge moment there. Jogan might be the difference. That yellow card may have actually been the worst thing that could have happened for Bordeaux scrum. They are no longer quite dominating in the same fashion. I got completely done by one of those in Spain. Says Fleshin, and not exactly fireworks here. Come on, everyone. Oh, come on, someone. Says Ruth. Yeah, 20 minutes in at the moment, and Northampton are able to exit their own 22. They get down to about 38 metres out from the line. Just collapsing under the pressure there. Thrown in. Oh, no, that one's going to be going off to the left. And Bordeaux have managed to get themselves the line-out steal. So a big moment again for the home side. Paige Rello goes across to the right. The hands of Jean-Luc Dupré. He's been busy throughout the early stages of this contest. Now Jaminier going on the outside. Gelibert, I should say. Now passes Salisi Rayasi. Goes to Damien Pinot. Clinical finisher. Rayasi gets another one. He's got the double. Bordeaux have got the lead. I don't know how much they're paying Rayasi, but they've got to give him a little bit of a bonus if he keeps on playing like this. Okay, it was starting to rain. Says pads are there and call the fire brigade. Beef, Rogan, Josh. Says Ruth. Yeah, brilliant steal again there. And Bordeaux tries, says Ruth. And there too, but Mofana, got the ball onwards to Portier, then passed to Rayasi. Got the return pass from Pinot afterwards. And someone, was this, says Ruth. But yeah, just Rayasi's going for it at the moment. Now chance out wide. It'll be a tricky kick here for Martin Page-Rello. He's sitting 0 from 1 at this stage. It's looking a lot better though. It does go down the middle and over. Makes the score now 12 points to 7. Favour of Bordeaux. Take years to build yourself up to a foul, but there is something about that heat. Hard to put into words, says DJ. See, I find with spice, as soon as it reaches like a certain level of spice, I find I can't taste it anyway. Like it's just hot. Like even a KFC Wicked Wing. I had one of those the other day because I was like, I'm a brave individual. And most people would say they're not even remotely spicy. But like, you get to the point now you don't taste the chicken because you're like, my tongue's hot. Nice change of attire, Hamish, says Joe. But yeah, it's got a lot of Puma written on it. It's Puma on there, Puma there. Probably got Puma somewhere else too. Probably Puma on the back too. A couple Pumas out there on the field, I think. Or am I thinking, no, there are a couple Italian players. There'll be at least one Argentine across these two sides somewhere, right? Well, I'm looking through and I'm not seeing it. Now, nicely taken. Halfway line here for Northampton. Currently down by the 5 points. Not a 50-22 if it does go out, but a good territory gainer. Though Louis Bialbiere is back. Does boot that ball into touch. It's pissing down. I made the right call. Says Benza Rayasi. Where's he from? France. He is from Fiji. Recently got himself that Fijian call-up as well and did make the absolute most of it. And Bordeaux recently extending the contract. Show us your pants, Hamish. They're really not that special. Like, I'm wearing shorts, and they're actually like swimming trunks, kind of like you could get away with having them as wearing them in the water as well. But they're very loud. Like, I can't move throughout the house without everyone waking up because it sounds like I'm like rustling rubbish bags. And now, Alex Mitchell. Inside ball to Joe Hendy. Just manages to hang on to it. And Rainwind, lovely New Zealand weather. Says Bads ablaze. Iogun, 2-man tackle. Forces him in the opposite direction. Mitchell searching for that ball. Now passed across again. This is where they just need some phase play here for Northampton. Keep their hands on the ball. Slowly build up phases. And then you can eventually get yourself maybe an attacking chance. And also uses up the rest of that yellow card. Thought about the inside pass, but wasn't a player there for Todaro. Todaro, I should say. Latex shorts. Now, they're not latex. They're like, I don't know what texture they are. But they make noise like they're... Can you hear that? There's kind of that noise. I don't know what material it is, though. Now, Damien Pinot, 10 metres out from his line. He's got BORDEAUX to his left, and he does manage to use him. Nice pace shown by the winger. Oh, that's a late shot. That's a very late shot, and normally it's where the ball gets to, but it's not going to matter that it was late. Oh, yes, it is, because they tried to throw the pass on the inside, and they're actually going to go back for it. This might be another yellow card for Northampton. Yes, it is. A yellow card for the late tackle, and that's going to take Craig right off the field. You need to have the try scorers on your scoreboard, says Joe Mann. Normally we do for the international games. Normally for the league games, though, we don't bother with it. There would have been a busy day for Stormers versus... In fact, it would have been busy for Stormers versus Harlequins as well as that game between the Bulls. Yeah, that was pretty late. Bulls and Bristol. That game had about 16 try scorers throughout it. Oh, dear, says Ruth. But so far in this game, we've seen the tries scored. Yeah, that was quite late. Pinot probably would have won the foot race afterwards trying to run it. Then it was taken on the inside by... It was Bellew, but yeah, try scorers so far. Salisi Reasi has scored the 2 for Bordeaux, and Henry Pollock has scored the 1 for Northampton. So Hutchinson, he is the man who has been sin bin now. They've got 2 men in the bin for Northampton, and Henry Pollock is down with a bit of an injury. Looks like maybe something league-related. Crowd are booing him as well for being down. It was a tackle off the ball. That's the verdict from the ref. I'm just checking. I swear last time these two sides played, yeah, they did. Northampton got 2 yellow cards the last time they played as well. And they had both of them by the 43rd minute. So this one a little bit quicker in terms of the rate that they have been getting them. The big boo here for Henry Pollock as he gets back to his feet. Keep your eye out of Naga sauce. Hot but real tasty, says DJ. And waterproof Amish polyester, says Ruth. Fischetti, he's still got another minute remaining of his yellow card. But they will still be down a man, Northampton, for the next 9 minutes after that. There's going to be the penalty to Bordeaux. They actually could have scored that. I wonder if they had scored it, whether they would have still gone back for the yellow card. They probably wouldn't have. So intercepting that pass actually in a way kind of hurt Northampton. But Jalabert kicks that ball into touch and it enters the 22 of Northampton. Currently up by the 5 points. Bordeaux and also the Saints will both be chasing that bonus point for 4 or more tries in this contest. This crowd is loud as well. Every time there is some sort of stoppage, we seem to hear songs being sung. Nicely taken by Adam Coleman at line-out time. Now looping around was the captain. Tried the pass on the inside to BORDEAUX, who has knocked it on. And now good leg strength shown by Craig Wright. Has ended up dropping that ball, but they will go back for the initial knock-on against Bordeaux. It's going to be another scrum here. Had a lot of them throughout this matchup, but that is kind of expected when you get two sides not wanting to make that mistake. So then you end up making a whole heap of them. Bordeaux, says Cameron there. Yeah, at the moment, in terms of how this game sits, Saints are $6.50 underdogs. And they are expected to lose this game still only by the 14 or so points. That was actually roughly the margin. I think it was 11 points at the start of this game was expected in favour of Bordeaux. Like that. And like that as well. But now, another scrum. Iogan, he's been a bit of a difference maker since he has made his way onto the field due to that yellow card. Oh, okay, so Fischetti comes off. He's actually been completely subbed as they don't want to take the risk of him getting another yellow. So his day is done, Daniele Fischetti. So he only got 17 minutes of this game, the Italian international, before Iogan has taken over. Not having fun. Smith for the Saints, loses from controlling the game. So here's Andrew. Yeah, not having Finn Smith in that number 10 jersey. It does seem like there's a big difference, isn't there? For the Saints attack in general. Alex Mitchell passes it across to Iogan inside of the 22. Now running onto it again was Craig Wright. In fact, that time it was Trevor Davison. Now rolling back, Mitchell. Again with the opportunity to kick this one downfield. Has gone high with it. Waiting for it to come down, slap back onto the side of the Saints once more. And again, Alex Mitchell decides to go for the boot. Actually finds a bit of open space in behind. The ball rolls into the Bordeaux 22. Jalabert is back there. Kicks it downfield. Open space. 50-22, not quite going to be on as Joe Hendy does get across. In fact, sorry, it is George Hendy rather than Joe. Ball's still there for the Saints in the breakdown. Bordeaux committing about 3 or 4 players trying to get that steal. Being told to use it. I haven't fleshed but I'll note it down and get some ordered, says DJ. Mitchell. Again, the box kick is going to be the option that they look towards. That one goes into touch. Not quite the meterage that he would have liked on it, but still a clearing kick. Bordeaux have the line out about 28 metres out from the try line. Still another 6.5 minutes of a man advantage. Just the one try for Northampton was in the form of Henry Pollock, who has stayed out there since having that little bit of a leg injury. Bordeaux, the 2 tries for the Fijian, Salisi Reasi. Compared to some of the games that we've had over this weekend, it feels like the thing is 3 tries in 30 minutes is actually quite quick. But because we've seen games having 110 points and, 71 points in that last contest that we covered, it feels slower. But I think that's also just because of the amount of scrums that we've had. This game, it will slowly find its momentum. Jalabert goes short side off to Damien Pinot. Tries to get round one, but offloads back into the hands of Jalabert, who's lined up early. Now left-hand side again. The advantage is over for the original knock-on. Paige Rello. Can't get that pass away for Mathieu. Now Paige Rello again. Cross to Reasi. He's on a hat-trick already. He is able to score himself another. Now Mathieu. It's his second run in quick succession. Iogan stopping him though. Now Jalabert goes out to the captain. Now stepping Biel Biarre. Still 22 out. A nice step there from Paige Rello. He sneaks through and the halfback scores the try. It wasn't much of a gap, but he created it big time by just that little sell of the shoulder. Cut the other way through the defensive line, and that is the 3rd try now for Bordeaux in this matchup. Martin Paige Rello, the Italian international, gets himself that try. There's so many internationals across these 2 sides in the contest, but the Bordeaux crowd are happy. They are 1 try now away from their bonus point in this fixture. But cutting back in, Fundamesh, the man missing the tackle. Only got maybe half a hand to him if he was lucky. Gets through and scores the try. So much for Northampton's dominant streak. So here's Big Rig. Yeah, I mean though, but Bordeaux at home, she's not an easy job. And I think that Northampton, they have to play with 15 men on the field. That would be a big start for them. Bordeaux showing that there is a gap out there with the missing player. Rory Hutchinson. Kick has gone over to, making the score 19-17 now. Just the 8 minutes remaining of the first half. Let's go Bordeaux, says Cameron. I keep a food notebook going on my phone, so new ideas are always appreciated. Matson Rugby Club's curry is classic, says DJ. Okay, referee just getting confirmation about how long for the yellow card. It's still another 3.5 minutes remaining that Rory Hutchinson will not be out there on the park. Yeah, getting the call of 3 minutes. It's going to be booted up high. And now nicely taken by BORDEAUX, running back towards his own goal line, but does create the space to give it off to Jalabert. Does sink his slipper into it. Only 50 metres out from the line, though. Running this one back is George Hendy. Passes off to Ollie Slade-Omi. He had to go off the field due to that Danilo Fischetti yellow card earlier on, so he should be pretty fresh. I believe that was his first carry of the whole game. Alex Mitchell goes to Davidson. Cross to the left, skip pass, goes out to George Hendy. Again, a standing start for Northampton. They're just lacking a little bit of go forward at the moment. Yogan, again dragged down 40 out. 7 minutes left in the half. If they can score before the end of this half, they're still well and truly in this contest. Even without it, they're probably right in it too. Mofana bumped off. Tackle made by Coleman, although now there's going to be the offside advantage. Tommy Freeman passes off to the left-hand side. That was when he needed to go to Henry Pollock. Grubber in behind from Slate-Omi. Can't quite catch it. That looked like Pollock was through a massive gap, but he went with the wide cutout pass over the top. You'd have to argue that that was possibly a try-scoring opportunity. We're not going to get the replay because they are showing that last-minute kick. Is the Cheetahs still playing today? I don't think so. I think they're being postponed maybe to a later date. Try a Ceylon curry. You won't go wrong. Actually, any Sri Lankan food is good. Says Fleshin. Looks like my bet is winning, says Ruby. Both teams' backs are loaded with talent, says DJ. Yeah, they're stacked from start to finish. In terms of from 9 to 15. Oh, they've got a penalty in the middle of the field here for Northampton. Maxime Luku just shown on the screen, and the crowd are letting out a massive cheer for him. He's a popular man around these parts. Why is Cheetahs cancelled? Due to the weather. Or not cancelled though, postponed. I had a curry for lunch today, Indian though. Says Big Rig. And oops, let's go Bordeaux. Says Otihitho. Hopefully I've said that correctly. A line out throw. Oh, stolen by Bordeaux. Beautifully done by their line out. That's actually the second one they've stolen in this match, I believe. And kick downfield from Pinot down to the halfway line. Ollie Slate-Omi, nice step. Has managed to get around to Portier, but eventually dragged down. And now the counter ruck from Bordeaux as well. Not a lot of arms involved in that Coleman clean out. Now BORDEAUX passes on the outside. Rayasi was waiting for it. Also waiting to get himself the opportunity to get his third try of the contest. Almost wrestled into touch. Page Rallo under pressure. Still gets his pass away to BORDEAUX. Pops it on to Coleman. To Portier. Sitting 22 metres out from the line. Mofana moving it to the right-hand side. Getting it in the wide channel. They're not going to need the pass, but they go to Waki anyway. And Cameron Waki scores the bonus point try for Bordeaux. That's the second try we've actually seen, or at least second opportunity, where Pinot could have scored himself, but he gives it off to a teammate. And they are on fire at the moment. Northampton, they will now be back to 15. Will Bordeaux give the Crusaders a good game? I think so. And honestly, if the Crusaders went to France to play Bordeaux, I don't think they're coming out with a victory. There's just something about the atmosphere of playing at home for Bordeaux. The crowd are 150% behind them. Can't Stormers win the Champions Cup still? They still have a chance, as long as they qualify in that top four of their group. But Rayasi with the draw and pass to Pinot, and then the inside pop pass to Cameron Waki too. Finishes it off with another try. Over there, can't the Stormers win the... Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And I knew he's going to be dominant, but not this dominant, says Cameron. There's been some pretty one-sided affairs throughout this round of the competition. That one misses away to the side. But it's going to keep the score as 24-7. And don't forget the Black Clash is on Saturday night from Christchurch. Is it in Christchurch this year? I thought it was taking place at, what's it called? Is it the Bay Oval again? Is it actually in Christchurch? Because if it is, I didn't even realise. 1 second, I'm going to have a look. Cricket versus rugby. Nah, it's at Mount Maunganui, at the Bay Oval. We have got there, what did I miss? Made coffee strong, says Ruth. Oh, penalty awarded to Bordeaux. So Bordeaux have got themselves the bonus point now, Ruth. They've been scoring efficiently throughout the first half, and 2 yellow cards have been awarded to Northampton. Hamish, when starting to play for the Stormers, I'm not going to be playing for them. I can tell you right now, they would do much better without me. Are you doing women's rugby? When are we talking? Like just in general, we have done a few games of the women's game. It's a bit clean out there. Low from a Yogan, but no arms involved. Bordeaux, says Ruth, who's got 14 men. So Northampton have been down to 14 men twice at this point in time. Now line out throw for Maxime Lemuth. Next week, says Mahadino, I assume you're talking about the sevens, right? For the women's, like the South African sevens women who are in action. Now, this ball's going to be put back for Paige Rello. Sorry, you were right, it's Tauranga. To be fair, if it was in Christchurch, I would have been very tempted to go. Now kick downfield, taken, the mark is called by Northampton. That's in the hands of Eduardo Todaro. We haven't seen a huge amount of him. The ball in hand. And it hasn't found touch in the end. It does give the counter-attacking chance here for the Begles again. Nice stepping from Jalabeur. Turning the defence inside out. Adam Coleman goes to Lemuth. They still have time to be able to get themselves one more here. If Bordeaux can be clinical, they've got 90 seconds. Here comes Mo Fana. And you know you're having a good day when he's hardly touched the ball and you're still dominating. Have you been watching Super Smash? Sadly not. I haven't actually managed to find any time to watch it. I've been watching a couple games of the BBL, but nowhere near as much as I'd like to, so I'm probably going to have to play catch-up over the next couple of weeks. But it has been pretty hectic. Salisi Arayasi gets the offload up to Paige Rello. Can't get the pass on the outside to Mo Fana, so George Hendy controls it. Trying to work it towards the 22. South Africa Sevens women when they're playing. Says Mohadin, so they have got 3 games, I believe, at least 3 anyway. So that has taken place from next week over the weekend. I'm not sure of the exact times of the games as of yet. Now rolling this one back into the pocket. Looks like Northampton are going to try and run it out from their own 22, which can be very risky. Definitely if Bordeaux can get themselves the intercept, but it's working out so far. They have made 45 metres from that run. Now Mitchell goes across to the big man, Funamesh. Up to the halfway line. Goes off to Yogan. Tackled by Cameron Walkie, the most recent try scorer for Bordeaux. Are you doing it? Not 100% sure yet. Depends on if it overlaps with other games. Super Smash is great. And also Storm and Small Seafood today. And I barely missed a game, to be honest. Here's Padza. Now passed across. Now another little side shuffling there. The quick stepping feet of Eduardo Todaro before he is smashed in the side from Bordeaux. Now Hutchison. Just can't quite get through at the moment, Northampton. That's a bad call from Alex Mitchell. Just chips it to Bordeaux. And that's the end of the half. That's when they just needed to keep on going. And 2 yellow cards, says Ruth. But that is half time, 24-7. The score at this point in time. That's gone very efficiently. That half, definitely with the amount of scrums that we saw early on, which did feel like they were dragging out the half a little bit. But from there, relatively smooth for these two sides. I believe at the moment there is also a game of the Challenge Cup taking place. Or at least there would be, I should say, actually no games left of the Challenge Cup by the looks of that. Next game will be Dragons versus Newcastle in 5 days, 3 hours. For the Champions Cup, there is still another game around the corner. That is the contest between Toulouse and also Saracens. What a Super Smash. So it is the New Zealand domestic T20 competition. So pretty much the next, you'd say next level down from, is it next level down from the BBL, or would you say they're kind of the same but different in a way? But yeah, New Zealand's domestic competition of T20. Hello, Hamish and Kiwi Lads, folks. Howdy there. Says Jay. And in fact, it's not just T20. They actually also have the 50 over stuff for the Super Smash. I think that also qualifies as Super Smash 2. I might have a slightly different name, in fact. We have got there good Jelly Bean. He's touched the ball. And who had the yellow cards from the Saints? Mr. First Up pretty much, says Luis. So we did see the yellow card for Danilo Fischetti. That was in around the 17th minute, which is the loose head prop. So he went off for 10, and Ayogan came on. Actually did pretty well at scrums. So when Danilo Fischetti's yellow card expired, they just left him off the field and Yogan's going to continue playing for the rest of the game. And then the other yellow card was for Rory Hutchison for a late tackle on BORDEAUX. So he was taken off the field for the 10 minutes as well. Are you the Deputy President of South Africa? I am certainly not. I think that they'd have to give someone the role who is in South Africa to do that. And I'm over here at 5 a.m. in New Zealand. Bordeaux coach will be happy. Says Ruthie, already the bonus point has been secured from Bordeaux. So as long as they don't do too much wrong here, they should at least finish with 2 points, I would say, from this game, minimum on the table. And thanks, no worries at all. But yeah, if they give away any more yellow cards, I think they'll be in a bit of trouble. I happened to slate home. He was the one who had to go off the field so that they could bring on a Yogan in the scrums. But since then, he's going all right. Had a couple touches just in recent times. But yeah, in terms of what is coming up next week for these two sides, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of Bordeaux, they have got themselves the game up against Bristol, who are in some pretty decent form after that big win over the Bulls. Bordeaux then have Stade Francais in the top 14. And then also another match away from home, though. And it's always interesting to see how Bordeaux go away from home compared to at home. I feel like this atmosphere that they've got at the moment, they are absolutely loving it. I can't imagine them slowing down too much throughout the second half either. For Northampton, they have got themselves the Scarlets in next week's game. That will be a crucial one to be able to get themselves some extra points, work towards that top 2, if not maybe even close to number 1 if they can somehow get a comeback victory in this matchup. Sale Sharks the week after in the Premiership, and then also the Leicester Tigers the week after that. But in terms of what is happening just in general for this Champions Cup competition, it is pretty small riding, but that is because there are so many sides that are taking part. But Bath have Edinburgh and Poe have the Bulls. Those are the Saturday morning games for us here in New Zealand, or the late night fixtures for you guys in South Africa. Sharks play Clermont. Bayonne play Leinster. The Stormers go head-to-head up against Leicester. Toulouse versus Sale. Munster versus Castres. Gloucester versus Toulon. Those will be a couple interesting games. Definitely with how we saw Toulon finish their game up against Munster just recently. Bristol versus Bordeaux. That's going to be a great one. La Rochelle versus Harlequins at the same time as Northampton versus Scarlets. And then Glasgow Warriors versus Saracens to close out the final round. And then from there we get into the round of 16, but those games will not be taking place the weekend after. Round of 16 is actually just a little bit later. I'll have a quick look, see the exact date. But it does take place, I believe, after the Six Nations is the next round of the Champions Cup. We go matches, we go here. But in terms of the round of 16, first match of the round of 16 is on the 4th of April. So it's the 4th, 5th, and April weekend. The round of 16 does take place. And then from there, the quarterfinals are the weekend after. And then the semifinals on the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th of May. And then the 23rd, 4th, or 5th of May is when the final takes place for this Champions Cup competition. And we have got there, we're having to slate home. And also, was any of your family on YouTube with you except your mum and your dad? Don't think so. I think it's just been my mum and my dad in terms of family members who, I can't remember if someone else has made like a short cameo. Maybe even accidentally. My uncle's been on the channel before actually, and my cousin, that was on that cricket video, but not for streaming. They haven't been on. We have got their Scarlets to win that. And also we have got their Black Cats bottled it. We got so close. We had half of a game to go. But now we know the result. England came back from the ashes. Says Jay there. And grabbed the ball and hoof it. Second half, boys, says Ruth. And the Dragons are a fast improving side. Seen a fair bit of them recently. Did you watch New Zealand versus cricket match? No. I was trying to avoid any sort of results or anything to do with it so that I could watch it without knowing what happened after the streams or a little bit later on. But now I know. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's your teams to qualify for the last 16, says Hardis? Oh, that's a good question. Right. I'm going to get some groupings going Can I see the table? Just as I want to see where everyone sits. Did you win in the cricket? This weekend we did lose. My side. And I tried Hamish, these lot. Says Padza. And also we have got there, grab the ball and hoof it in the second half. Says Ruth there. And I will mention the second half is not a mile away from getting back underway. But yeah, for Champions Cup wise, round of 16. Right. In this group, in fact, no, we'll start with this group. I'm thinking Bristol, Northampton, Bordeaux. And honestly, I think Po go through. I think they'll beat the Bulls next week, seeing as they are at home. I think they're at home anyway. Yeah, it's a home game for the French side. In Pool 3, I'm going Leinster, Harlequins, La Rochelle, and the Stormers. But it will be interesting to see how they go up against the Tigers, and maybe even the Tigers win that game, but just don't end up. I think maybe even if Tigers win that game, Stormers might get a bonus point from it. Worst comes to worst, but I think they'll go through anyway. In Pool 2, it's wide open, but I'm going Bath. See, that one I don't actually know who plays who. So that's a little bit trickier, but I would probably say the top 4 in that group are going through. Or at least they should, depending on, of course, who plays who. And then Glasgow, Sale Sharks, Toulouse, maybe Saracens or the Sharks. That's a tricky one. And we have got there, New Zealand played C team and yet managed to bring a thrilling game against India's top 1 batting. And we have there Hamish. I was trying to avoid spoilers. Also, Hamish goes on the internet. Yeah, I can't really watch anything that's happened in the past, like even if it's only a couple hours, like just because it's just no way of avoiding it. Like I'm able to avoid it outside of streaming. Like it was 2 Ashes series ago, I avoided all spoilers on the Ashes for I believe about 2 months while I watched all the games afterwards. Like I'm able to avoid Instagram, Facebook, all those ones, but it's just like, yeah, you can't really avoid chat per se. Hamish is super freaky and awesome. I never gets flustered, keeps it cool. And Stormers home next week. Stormers are at home. And we have got their Hamish knows, mate, says Dawny. And also we have got their, it's 4 p.m. here. We haven't had any daylight today. It's just grey and grim. And also we have got their only Aussie bogans named their children Blaze or Blade. Says JD. Yeah, it's not actually his name, though. He's done it for like a channel reference from way back in the day. We have their work later, Hammy. Says Ruth. Yeah, second half just about to get underway in this contest. These two sides about to make their way out onto the field. Black Cats are still trying to get their revenge for 2025 Champions Trophy final. How's Pollock playing? He had a try and a half scored earlier on, and it's going to really annoy people because it's probably going to get played 1,000 times on social media. But yeah, Henry Pollock, he ran down the wing off a cross kick, chipped it in behind, ripped it off Damien Pinot, and then scored the try himself. But he's been solid enough. You working tomorrow? I'm working today. It's currently 5:13 a.m. And Dan still could end up in a draw. 2 converted tries and a penalty. Glasgow fan says Kahu missed the first half as a one-sided. It only really, I would say, has been because of those yellow cards. Like, Northampton have looked all right with ball in hand, but they've played 20 minutes of this game with 14 on the field, so it's made it a bit tricky. Sorry, Amish, be slow to the party. Says JD. I want to live in New Zealand, says Peps. How's Zebre going? They actually managed to get themselves the victory, Zebre, in the end. So, yeah, they'll be more than happy covering this game as well. Crazy Half says, hey, no there. Yeah, bit eventful. I have to say, I was glad when the scrum stopped, though, because that was just repeat phase after phase of a reset of the scrum. And is it Monday? Yeah, it is Monday for us here in New Zealand. I won't mention the cricket match. To be fair, you can now, because I do know who won. So, like, you know, if you want to say who played well, like, I honestly don't mind. I'll probably watch highlights of it now rather than the whole thing, just because, like, yeah, I know what happened. And we have got there, Cheers Bro says Jeff, and I was 2025 for you. It went very fast, and I feel like it was the year that I kind of lost half my memory, which sounds a bit sad, but, like, yeah, now, like, basic things I'm now forgetting. So I think I had way too many all-nighters, not enough sleep, and I think I broke my brain. But other than that, it was good. Like, a lot happened throughout the year. It was a good one for the channel. I did quite a bit outside of the streaming side of things too. But yeah, looking forward to this year, seeing what happens. 0-1 in the cricket, says Mohadeen. By the sounds of it, India got themselves the win. But now, the tunnel is made so that these two sides can make their way out. Black Cats will probably lose in the T20 World Cup. But good news is Lockie Ferguson is back. Is he back from that? Because he got injured again, didn't he? But I think that was missing this tour, right? But he's going to be back now for that Cricket World Cup. I've done well to avoid still. We have good answer, K. Hamish. Old mate has his alternative Blaze account. Says JD. Oh, no, that's Johnny Blaze that you're thinking of, JD. I think that's a completely different person. That's also someone who was Marco Vunipola Bear at one point in time. He used to have a picture of Marco Vunipola. Are you 9 years on YouTube? Kind of, but not really. Like, the channel's been created since about 2017, but we really didn't upload a lot on the early days. It was only 2020 that I started uploading more often and consistently. Lockie Ferguson is going to spank everyone in there. If he is back to his peak form. Isn't Johnny Blaze the superhero Ghost Rider? No idea. When was your first YouTube? I think the first YouTube video that's public on the channel was from like 2016. But once again, like, it wasn't consistency on there. 1 second, I'll go like that. Go like that. And like this. They've actually had both sides ready to make their way out onto the field for the last about 5 minutes, but they haven't got them out there just as of yet. Yeah, the first video was 8 years ago on the channel. That's a long time. But then like 2 videos 8 years ago, then from there 6 years ago, then from there 5 years ago, and then that's when Rugby Challenge started up. We missed you, Hamish. Works for 3 months. Has been hectic, says JD. So yeah, hopefully you get a little bit of downtime now and you're able to enjoy the rugby that is taking place. No sports restrictions were allowed apart from rugby. Or no sports restrictions here allowed apart from rugby. No, I've read that 2 times and it hasn't hit my brain cells yet. 1 second. No sports restrictions here allowed apart from rugby. You can talk about any sports. Like whatever one that's happening. Like, yeah, it was only the cricket that I was going to slightly try and hope to watch. But I can watch the second one without knowing what happens. So that's good. Sri Lanka are playing Pakistan at the moment, but I won't say who's winning that. I've been watching you since 2022, just different accounts. CS Peps. And yeah, with the fact that like now YouTube have changed it that you've got the @ symbol with the names. Like in this scenario, like at Peps Wox, like your name as your normal username could have been anything like John. But because it changes now to the @ a lot of people who I recognize as familiar, like their names completely change. And it's taken a little bit of time to try and remember whose name was what without the ats. You might need sleep, says Kahu. Sleep is important in general. I can't remember when I was first here. I think you were back in like 2021, Paddy. Maybe. In fact, it might have even been 2020 that you were here. We can talk about any sport, even Alaskan ear pulling. I would watch that just to see what it's like. But now kicked off. Second half underway. Bordeaux kicking long. Very long, in fact. Only 5 metres out from the Northampton line. And that one's going to be booted into touch early. How's it, H? Says Juan Pierre. You can't remember mine. Says Paddy. I think you were on some of the early NPC or Super Rugby streams though, Paddy. I've been too many years is all I know. Too many years. I've watched your first live when the Black Cats played England in second test in 2022. I used to really enjoy doing those cricket streams, and then copyright happened multiple times and we had to kind of decide maybe that we can't do cricket, but I'd like to do some of that World Cup. Oh, well stolen there from Northampton. Goes back to Alex Mitchell. Now passes to Slate home. And something that Northampton, maybe we're lacking a little bit in the first half was just the Saints getting that forward momentum. Currently only 25 metres out from their own line. It's been good defence from Bordeaux throughout this game as well. Yes, matey, thank you, Hamish. I was rejected for consideration from the Olympic Games due to being too dangerous, says Big Rig. Kick downfield from Mitchell. The halfway line, Damien Pinot steps and passes across to Jalabert. And now big breaking run from Salisi Reyes. Oh, what a try this will be if he can make it. All he needs to do is get round George Hendy, and he does. He gets the hat trick. A triple for Reyasi. He didn't play like this for the Hurricanes. I can tell you that right now. But maybe that's because they were playing him out on the on the wing, not giving him enough ball. But the hat trick for him just carves through the gap, a step there, gets round Alex Mitchell, and then it became a foot race for the corner. To remember 2022 when you laughed at the chat when I said something like Spice ASMR. He said I will watch it after the live. Sorry for typing here, as mate says Peps Walk. I think that might have been what made me and George do a couple ASMR reaction videos ages ago, maybe. That might have been the reason behind it. We've been here since COVID-19. 2021, says JD. Yeah, see, that was a weird time, like, on the channel in terms of, like, what matches were taking place and whatnot. But it was one of those ones that I feel like that was also kind of a cool period to be doing it because of the fact that, people were looking to be able to chat to people, seeing as they couldn't leave, like, their houses. And we just kind of were live on the channel a lot during that period. I didn't know you back then, says Ruth. Now, nicely taken. Again by Northampton, but they're down 31-7 at the moment in this contest. Yogan going away to the left-hand side. Little short pop pass to Alex Coles, and it's been dropped. So again, Bordeaux have the ball back. Double knock on. And it's a scrum. I hope to meet you in real life one day, says Peps Watts. Well, we have met a couple people in real life. In fact, I think the number's up to about 3 or 4 now. But the first time, I still remember the first person who was like, are you the Kiwi lads? It was really, like, it caught me off guard because me and George were at the supermarket. And they actually worked at the supermarket. But, like, the weekend playing cricket, as soon as I went out to bat, we were playing a side that knew about the channel. So I was getting called the Kiwi lads while trying to get ready to bat. And then I went out, not right the next ball. I hit a couple boundaries first, but then went out quickly after. So, not ideal. None of the lads you teach cricket to watch. I think a couple of them know about it in terms of maybe not my team that I coach, but the team above them. The ones who are around like kind of 12 to 15, that age range, seem to know the channel. But then the younger ones who I coach, I don't think many of them know about it. Will you count me as an OG fan? I've watched you since 2022. I'd say that that's pretty OG, even though I don't really know what OG really means, other than like the original. Is it original gangster? Is that what it stands for? What, Northampton attacking from inside of their own 22 again? They just haven't had the territory throughout this match as of yet. That doesn't mean it can't change. Tommy Freeman, he needs more of the ball. And that's a deliberate knockdown from Wacky. Oh, is it? They've called it as backwards, which means he gets his second try. I think this one will have to be checked, though. He's celebrating it. Right, it's either going to be a try for Cameron Wacky or potentially a yellow card. They'll be hoping that it is the first option. That's been called as a deliberate knockdown before, is all I'm going to say. But the ball does kind of travel backwards when he slaps it. So, okay, it's clearly gone backwards as the call from the TMO. So, yeah, I think that this is going to be a try. And this one's getting even more one-sided between these two teams. Doesn't look good in the replay from that angle when you can't see if it goes forward or back. But from the other, it did look like it travelled in a backwards direction. You taught Seb about cricket. He's tried to teach me, but I just don't get it, says Fleshin. You see, that was back in the... Was that their first Ashes or was it the T20s that Seb ended up picking up on the cricket side of things? And since then, he became... Like, he used to rattle off stats that I had no idea about each and every game because he was doing research in between streams about cricket. just to, be on the kind of inside knowledge. So the second try for Cameron Wacky, 36-7. I wanted this game to be close. Until we have got their Saints need to be march quicker. And also former Hurricane Salisi Rayasi, he's looking good, old mate. Yeah, he's looking phenomenal. Ever since going to Bordeaux, seems to have completely changed his game. That kick has gone over 38-7 now. 2021 was when I first watched. And Lockie Ferguson is a natural beast. When it comes to T20 tournaments, he is the reason why Black Cats come in elite bowling. Right, looks like a couple changes are being made here. Northampton are going to bring on Miller Mills for Davidson. They've still got another 34 minutes remaining. I liked vids from 4 years ago. So here's Pads Ablaze. Yeah, I think you were here for the very first NPC stream. I could be wrong though. But it wouldn't surprise me if you were. Now, about 40 metres out. There's a good attacking chance here for Northampton. Now going back across to the left-hand side, looking for the pass. Hutchison, good hands from Hendy. Cuts back inwards, gets through one. Another offload there. They just need a few passes to stick. Couple missed tackles from Bordeaux would help that out. He's obsessed and genuinely upset about the Ashes, says Fleshin. Off to the left, Henry Pollock, short ball, 5 metres out from the line. Lamouth went for the turnover in the breakdown. Ripped away Cameron Wacky. I think he almost forced the knock on. If it wasn't, it's going to be the try for Alex Coles. Right, they've said there, if it's different, the TMO will let them know. And the TMO is going to go upstairs. Okay, it sounds like they're calling it as a rip, which I think should be fine. If it is ripped away. It also, I think, was ripped from a... Yeah, he's on the ground and he has it ripped out of his hands. So, I think that in its own right, tackle there, then he rips it while he's grounded. So, Wacky might be in a little bit of trouble here. Oh, yeah, no, they've actually made a very good point there, the commentators. They've said once he's on the ground, he's not actually allowed to touch the ball again. But yeah, it's been ripped while they're grounded. So I don't see this being anything other than a Northampton Saints penalty. Possibly, I've been here when you did things like Ashes in the BBL. And man of the match already, says Ruth, for Salisi Rayasi. Okay, the TMO didn't actually check to see if the player was grounded. He was just saying it was a knock on. So he was going to say no try ball for Northampton. Nobody else gives a toss up here other than Seb and his Dracula lair. Says Flesham. Right, so I think the tackle's going to be completed and it will end up being the penalty. I think the penalty, yeah, the knees are down. You're not allowed to rip it once the player has grounded himself. That is where you need your clear release, which Wacky did not have. Okay, penalty in favour of Northampton for no clear release against Cameron Wacky. I think there Northampton are asking for the try. Okay, so because it was forward, that means that they can't have a chance of scoring too. I think there was just a conversation there with the Northampton Saints captain. Now they're going to go for the quick dab. Henry Pollock pops it up to Yogan. Only 2 metres out from the try line. I said we'd see a prop score in this game, but it doesn't look likely at the moment, unless, of course, Northampton try and get something going here. Backline movement. Freeman can't quite get it on the outside. Shut down too quickly by Deportier. Now, Oyogan, metre out. Oh, still a metre out. He actually almost spun round and got over the line. I hope everyone is well and doing well. That's a chance. Freeman scores for Northampton. It's the start of what would have to be a substantial comeback. But it's at least something for the Saints here. JD, I don't know. I've missed them. And also, where's Sebastian, Nate, David, and Naz? So, David was here, I want to say about a month ago. He popped in and said hi. Sebastian's still popping around. He's every once in a while. I'm in a WhatsApp group, I think. And I think he pops a message in there every once in a while. Who else we got? Nazi Williams, he was here yesterday. He popped in to say hi. Blues Nate's been away for a little bit of time, but then he pops back every once in a while as well. And we have got they are mods. Hi, like myself, says Pads Ablaze, and Nazi is here. Seb was here yesterday. No, David and Nate. But yeah, David was here for that. I'm pretty sure he said Happy New Year just before 2026. That kick has gone over from Northampton, making the score now 38 points to 14. 3 unanswered tries. Come on, Northants. And yeah, that one was a crucial one that they just scored there. Start moving in the right direction here. Still 31 minutes. That's a long time in a game of rugby. Definitely after we saw teams scoring every 3 minutes in that Bristol Bears versus Bulls game. Oh no! That ball's in the hands of Cameron Walkie, and he gets a hat trick. Him and Salisi Rayasi have 3 tries each. Seb was here today in last stream, right? He was. Yeah, he popped in. And we have got their 3 unanswered tries. But that is a brutal one there, Northampton. Just about starting to get themselves back into the game. Not claiming the kickoff. And Cameron Walkie goes straight through. Gets the ball. And scores the try there. We have got the same. Too quiet without them in the chats. Says JD and also Sebastian has to start his real job tomorrow for some time. So he's probably in bed. Says Fleshin. Yeah, hat trick for Cameron Walkie and for Salisi Rayasi. That does not happen too often. You don't even get a hat trick in most of the games. Looks like Bordeaux are pushing for that 50 here. And Coach Keller says, DJ, yeah, after just doing the hard work, and that kick has gone over, making it 45-14. Amir, come on, says Pedza. They've just said there an 18-minute hat trick for Cameron Walkie, so he has been scoring in quick succession. Kicked off. And taken again inside of the 22. Few changes being made. Barlow, Pichon, and also Ben Tamefuna makes his way onto the field for Carlos Sadie. Not exactly a bad replacement to have. Tamefuna off the bench now. Nice step from Jaminet. Almost goes straight through. Or sorry, Jalabeur. A pass to the short side. Mofana has Biarre with him. Tried to go on the inside, but it's taken by the Saints with the interception. Alex Coles dragged down. Also, we see Jean-Luc Dupré and Paige Rello both have come. Well, they had Paige Rello off the field, but he is still out there. I can see him. Or is it? No, never mind. He has made his way off now. It was a different number. Good to know, and thank you, Hamish. And number 7 hat tricks are a rarity, says DJ. Yeah, definitely in a game where a back has also scored a hat trick. It's been thoroughly impressive from Walkie in the way that he's been able to step up. Got the first 51 minutes. Now Northampton, possession 38 metres out there. It's going to be a great steal in the breakdown. It's Ben Tamefuna for his first moment in the game already, managing to rip that ball away and win it. It just gets that a little bit more difficult for Northampton in terms of just that lack of ball in hand, finally having it in Tamefuna. You're not moving him. As a Glasgow fan, come on Bristol next week, please. Says Kahu. Yeah, this makes it very interesting in terms of the race for who has the best chance of qualifying as number 1 and 2. Kick has gone into touch for Bordeaux. Crowd are still singing loud and proud of their Bordeaux side. Hello, Flesh and okay. All the best, Sebastian. Thanks. And we have got there, I'm basically just wasting time now till I got to get up, says Padza. Alex Mitchell, he's going to make his way off the field. McParland makes his way on. I remember eating Nando's when watching your live. I remember eating Pringles on a live stream. I think it was one of my first late night live streams I decided to do on the channel. And I was extremely sleep deprived. People who were coming in for that stream, even though there weren't many of them, would have thought I was drunk. Because I was eating Pringles and a big bag of volcanoes, which are like some sweets or lollies, depending on where you're from. What other words are there for confectionery? There was some confectionery consumed on that stream. Now Salisi Reasi trying to break the line once more. 40 metres out for Bordeaux. And Pringles. Oh, what's wrong with Pringles? Pringles are lovely. They are. But when you're trying to do a commentary, that's quite difficult. Oh, that was off the ball. Okay, Hutchinson was just saying he was cleaning him out because he was not being nice. Now kicking this one into touch for the Saints. They still, if they got 2 more tries here, can get the bonus point. I know I'm talking about the losing bonus points quite a bit throughout these games, but if they do get it, would be quite crucial in terms of the overall outcome of this group. And Walker salt and vinegar crisps. The only one I really remember is when you did a stream with your finger caught in a finger trap. Yeah, that wasn't a good move, was it? It's quite hard to get off. That didn't sound right. Pringles is good hangover food. And there's a true thing. I'm not taking the mickey here. Says Fleshin. And when you do a commentary with Pringles, that sounds like a penguin talking. Well, I assume you're talking with a Pringles can, right? Another penalty awarded to Bordeaux. Chalibert. Just kick that ball into touch. Just hurts when they make changes and the subs that come onto the field are still strong. Eat a Pringle anytime or eat a Pringle anytime someone scores. Tell you what, throughout this whole weekend, you would have finished the whole can of Pringles. The amount of tries that we saw, 16 or so between the Bulls and Bristol. That Harlequins game, we saw 61 points scored by one of the teams. Whole handful of Pringles if they get a card. And also Mofana says Ruth. He's had a solid game, Mofana. Pretty quiet in that number 12 jersey, but once again, hasn't done anything wrong. I could see in your back, says the Vault. It is great to have you here too. Got plenty more coming up next weekend. More Champions Cup as well as some of the sevens. You need to get Georgie on a stream again. Quite tricky. He's busy at this time of the year, unfortunately. He actually came around to film earlier today, but most of the time, the only time he's busy, when he's free, is during times that streams just aren't happening. Like they're normally early afternoon. First time I listened to one of your streams, I thought it was a horse race, says Fleshin. Yeah, I was about to say I used to talk fast, but I still talk fast. We haven't covered the Melbourne Cup yet, but I probably should at some point. The Māoris live in south or north. There's Māori people in both the north and the south. I think there are more up north, but only because of the population being more. So it just works out to be, like, if it was a percentage of people, it's just because more people are up there. I know yawns are happening, says Padza. Oh, it's the game of the round next week, says Kahu. 1 second, we'll go like this. We'll go like, there we go. Game of the week, I honestly think La Rochelle Harlequins could be right up there, or Glasgow Saracens could be quite a good one too. Only inside of their 22, Bordeaux, Salisi Reasi kicks it downfield. He's got a long left boot. Let's use it decently there. But yeah, probably one of those two for me. Or Stormers Leicester, if Leicester turn up and the Stormers are rearing to go after their defeat. Could be a pretty good one. And even Poe versus the Bulls. Barfed. Now I'm just listing every single game. I'll stick with what I said initially, which is La Rochelle Harlequins. I think has a great chance of being a fantastic contest. If the Quins show up away from home. That's what the if is. G. Hamish and George livestream mukbang, great idea. And also, when George comes into your live, I think of KFC mukbang coming up. We have done a video eating KFC. In fact, I think we've done 2. But, yeah, I mean, he'd be keen. I can tell you that right now. It has to be the Bulls versus Bears for the sheer insanity. Says Big Rig, off the game of this round. All drop ball from Henry Pollock, knocked on. And will now be another chance here for Bristol, the crowd, letting out jeers for him too. We have got the No, don't do a horse race. You might end a lot of us old F's lives, says Fleshin. I need to do a mukbang, says Padsa. Rugby, KFC and Pringles, the Hamish story. Pringles taste like soggy cardboard. See, I don't know what soggy cardboard tastes like, so I can't compare it. To be honest, thought old mate was already working, like he has other jobs. See, here's JD. Now scrum again here for Bordeaux. This game has gone pretty one-sided, ladies and gents, so we've probably done a little bit of a lack of the what is happening play-by-play, but it's getting pretty much completely... I'd say the game's secured. It's more so, can Northampton get a bonus point from it? Papa John's tastes like soggy cardboard to me. Do they have Papa John's in New Zealand? Because if they do, I haven't had it. I had was it Sal's? No, I had Hell's Pizza the other day. Like 2 weeks ago, before Christmas. That might have been 3 weeks ago. Worst garlic bread I've had in my whole life. There goes the sponsorship, but I don't think they were going to sponsor me anyway. There are some weird people who get arousal when seeing a woman ride a horse, says Peps. I don't... How do I say this? I don't think it's the horse riding itself. I think it's possibly what is in motion while riding said horse. Maybe. You troll George too much, mate. One day he might even eat a horse beer alive. I don't know what hats taste like because I have to keep eating mine, says DJ. Just another knock on. There's been a few of them throughout this match. Damien Pinot, oh no. Oh, yeah, nah. Just not quite held on to by Rayasi. It's been a solid backline, though, from Bordeaux. Hamish, what's 4514? 4514. Is it like just the number? Or is it like a question, like an addition, like 45 minus 14? Or what's the go? Big Bang Padsa. Just check, no Papa John's in New Zealand, Australia, or South Africa. How strange, says Big Rig. See, we got Domino's, we got Pizza Hut, and we got Sal's. And then also Hell's Pizza. I can't think of how many other ones we've got. No, I think because horseback is like men's cucumber. Oh. And KFC chicken thighs, George, says Ruth. Now, feeding the ball in, Northampton Saints. Into the last quarter of the game. They need the 2 tries. Being told to use it. Going off to the short side for McParland. Oh, ball ripped away by Bordeaux. Jalibert will have the pace. God, they've been clinical when it comes to ripping that ball away or just getting it back. No Papa John's UK-wise, says DJ. But that is about, the 4th try that Bordeaux have just taken the ball off of Northampton and scored off the counter-attack. And we can keep filling up refrigerator for 2 months with beer, Fleshin. I would invite old mate. But he has to work, says DJ. And our mate Domino's is peak. When it comes to the spicy mustard, says Peps. And Hamish, I've had it stuck to something else. It's horrible. You've had it stuck to, what, your chicken thighs? That was your last comment. It's in Chad, Kyrgyzstan, Nicaragua, and Kenya, but not in Australasia, says Big Rig. Interesting. I wonder why. Do we have, is it Caesar's? Is that a pizza place in America? Do we have Caesar's Palace, is it? I think it's over the Saints. I think so too. 50 points have been brought up by Bordeaux. And to be fair, Jalibert deserved a try with the way that he has played throughout this contest. He's really controlled the back line and just found gaps. Oh, and now he's just been taken off the field for Joey Carberry. I guess if you already got like Pizza Hut and Domino's and stuff, is there demand for another American pizza chain? Yeah, probably not. And George kind of looks like Kyle Jameson. He'd take that as a compliment. That one's going to be flicked in the inside. Was just in touch. Caesars is in Vegas. Always garlic bread needs to be in French loaf butter. Tons of garlic and parsley, says Ruth. And all my teams lose today, says Martin. It's not ideal. In fact, a lot of the South African sides, in fact, all of them in the Champions Cup did lose this weekend, whereas the Challenge Cup sides did quite well. Both still at 49% for a Northampton win. Are going to be an epic comeback, says Ben van der Merwe. Yeah, what do they need? 36 points to get to the draw, so 37 points in the next 18 minutes. The Saints have been embarrassing. Some incredibly soft tries, says Jim. Yeah, the counter-attack of Bordeaux, I'm trying to work out if that has been that strong or whether it's just been that the gaps have been that massive in the Northampton defence. Because the likes of that last try from Jalibert, he literally just got the ball past to him and ran. Cameron Waki, off the kickoff, got the ball past to him, scored. Like, there's been a few like that throughout this game. What would be the difference between the second and first seed? Says Kahu. I think not a huge amount. I think you just want to be first or second because no matter what, no one has a home final anyway. And some New Zealand cricket fans hate Jameson because of his performance in Cape Town 2025 final. But they realised he was the reason Black Cats won the World Test Championship final in 2021. And he was playing today after this game. There's one game left, and that is Saracens. Oh, he is in touch there, George Hendy. So they will go back for the Bordeaux line-out just on the 22. But yeah, Saracens versus Toulouse is the last game today. That's going to be a good one. I'll probably watch a replay of that game later on. I give Kyle stuff. No hate, though. Says Padza. Hope the flashlights in the stands in Bordeaux. And thanks, mate, says Martin. No worries at all. Nicely taken by Bordeaux. 25 metres out from the line. Coleman goes off to the right. Once the hands of Joey Carberry recently to make his way out onto the field. You're talking about, I think that's Kutsia. How they're saying he's actually a winger, but he's been playing more at scrum half for Bordeaux. Adam Coleman, couple extra metres for the Australian. Off to the right again. Balu. Coleman again. He's had a lot of carries. He's probably had, I would say, close to the most out of the forwards other than maybe Cameron Waki due to his hat trick. It's going to be a knock-on against Bordeaux, just not quite held on to. Kyle Jameson didn't bowl for a while. That's why he performed poor. Final 2025. Hamish, wet cardboard stuck to something frozen, ate it, says Ruth. And only Lockie Ferguson is good, to be honest, after Trent Bolt and Southey. We have Butler's very good groovy Greek pizza. What is a Greek pizza? See, I'm a very basic man. I'm normally just cheese and maybe some chicken or something on a pizza. But I feel like I need to broaden my horizons. Going off to the right-hand side, Salisi Reasi tries to spin. Does manage to find his offload as well. He hasn't really done a huge amount wrong throughout today, Reasi. And there is another knock-on, though, this time in the breakdown from, I believe it was the replacement 20. For Bordeaux. We have got there even Will O'Rourke, not Nathan Smith though. I actually once got Nathan Smith out, fun fact. It was when he was on about 130, but did get him out. That's my one claim in cricket. Northampton don't deserve any pizza after this performance. I tell you what, says Big Rig. After Stormers and Leicester both are full strength, it should be a good game, says Sean. Yeah, I think that if Leicester pack their best team on the plane, like it could go either way. I think next week's game against Bristol at the Ashton Gate would be closer, says Kahu. And who can beat Bordeaux? Yeah, a lot of sides struggle to. And honestly, like they are looking like they have a very good chance of defending their championship. Doesn't happen a huge amount where sides go back-to-back in the Champions Cup. Bordeaux looking to do just that. Henry Pollock could run off the back of the scrum. Away to the right-hand side again here. Skip pass. Finds the hands of Kodaro. A few clubs raking up 50-plus points this weekend. Yeah, it's been a high-scoring week of the Champions Cup. I'm trying to think of the lowest scoring game that we've had. Which is probably 26-10. Sale Sharks versus Sharks. That would be the lowest scoring game, followed by Leinster La Rochelle. But we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4 teams bring up 50 points. And then, I mean, the Bulls were on 49, so they were almost the 5th. Oh, bit of a slip there. Now to the right. Oh, gone through the hands of Ben Tamefuna. Loose ball picked up by the Northampton Saints, and they get a counter-attacking opportunity now off the Bordeaux mistake. Tommy Freeman cutting almost through, but Cameron Walkie making the tackle alongside Rayasi. 110-point game was wild. It was. There was a try every few minutes in the early stages. Another advantage now in favour of Northampton. 2 metres out from the line. Henry Pollock pops it up now to his teammate in that loose forward trio. Now Pollock goes again, dragged down just short. Pick and go once more. He's lost it forward, so they'll go back for the penalty. Do you think Bordeaux would beat Wales? I think they would. I think they would. I think Bordeaux would actually beat quite a few international sides with the way that they play. I think Glasgow can beat them, maybe Bristol, who knows? Says Kahu. Have Northampton and rugby and Southampton and football / soccer. Oh, time is going to be off, and they are just helping out Iogan. On the counter-attack, it was nicely done by Freeman to almost sneak through, but Rayasi, when you're not making any mistakes whatsoever, it does make it very hard to get past the fullback. Yeah, that ball just forced out of his hands as he tried to score it. And Greek has to be basil, feta cheese, olives, tomatoes, garlic. Yeah, see, I only like maybe 2 of those 5. So maybe Greek pizza isn't for me. Iogan. He's been out there for a long time. He actually had Danilo Fischetti. Fischetti was about to make his way, I think, back onto the field there. But now close. Iogan just short of the line. Off to Henry Pollock again, just the 1 metre out here for the Saints. They don't need to worry about conversions. They need to worry about scoring tries. As 2 more would give them the bonus. Now passed out wide. It's a knock on from Northampton, who are out 4 players in line, all wanting it. Adam Coleman, old mate retirement in 10 years. Says JD. Yeah, Adam Coleman, he's still going. And he's doing pretty well, to be fair to him. He's a busy player. And what time is the next game? The next game in the Champions Cup is kicking off in 37 minutes' time. Vegetarian pizza, mushrooms, meat pizza, controversial. I know pepperoni and pineapple. Says DJ. Who after Bordeaux actually look like title contenders. Leinster don't really look as good as normal. Says Carl. I mean, Glasgow have looked all right in their first few games. In fact, they've looked very, very handy. I would say that who else at the moment is a side that I'm liking? I think that Leinster have still shown enough, and I think that also Bristol Bears are looking pretty handy now, although the thing is, it only, like, Bristol have played Scarlets, Poe, and a kind of rough Bulls side. So are they really looking as strong as it insinuates? I'd say possibly not. Once they get up against a side who can defend, I think they'll be in a bit of trouble. Now 10 minutes on the clock. If you were to match the Premier League football club, which club would you match for the Black Caps? And now big push there from Northampton, trying to get the better of the scrum, but just not quite able to. Big run from Damien Pinot. He bulldozes straight at Sam Graham. In fact, no, sorry, that was McParland who had to make the tackle on him. Now, kick goes into touch from Bordeaux. We pass into the last 10 minutes of the fixture. Pollock, come on, give it to them. There is Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, and many more. Yeah, McParland just got flattened by Pinot, but fair play to him. He hung on to him. Wasn't going to be letting him go. Saying winner takes all at Ashton Gate in terms of those rankings. Greek pizza is like saying try an Italian toad in a hole. Sears Fleshen. Now going back across to the right. Slate home. Oh, sells the dummy. Almost managed to sneak through, but BORDEAUX shuts him down again. Bordeaux, they are now in a race against the clock. That was playing the 9. Now trying to find way through for Sam Graham. McParland. Hutchinson looking for the grubber in behind. Chasing after it. Pollock gets his double. They are going to check that one, but Henry Pollock gets another one. The crowd don't like it. A little bit more of a calmer celebration. Who is Tom Pearson? Sounds like Tom and Jerry Abomination. I think it is from Pips. I try it sometime. It's delicious. Hamish sees Roof. But yeah, Henry Pollock chasing after that one. He has grounded the ball. Yep. Gets the grounding. And it will be the 3rd try now for Northampton. Okay, ball's clearly grounded. They're going to award that try. Northampton move up to 19 points. Yogan, oh, that doesn't look good. He has put his arm in like a sling in his shirt. He's trying to take it out, but I think it might be some sort of shoulder or elbow injury there for Yogan. Now an important kick. Well, not really, is it? We have got there. Pollock is in the Six Nations, should be. Says Jeff. Yeah, like, the thing is, people don't like him. But he has scored 2 tries in this game. Kick has gone over as well, so making the score 21-50. And if Pollock gets one more, or just Northampton in general, so Henry Pollock is playing. He scored himself a double, including what would be possibly one of the best tries in the Champions Cup so far. And Greg is so sexy. Says Ruth. Now Daniela Fischetti is back onto the field due to that injury of Yogan. Last time that there was a kickoff, ended up conceding straight away. Northampton, big collision with Ollie Slateholm and Damien Pinot, but the ball is still on the side of the Saints. Ball is available. Looks like they might be going for a kick downfield here, the Saints. One's kicked high. Chasing after it. Henry Pollock leading the charge. Let's get claimed by Bristol. Or sorry, not by Bristol, by Bordeaux before the opposition get there. Oh, great steal in the breakdown, though, from the Saints that managed to take it back on the halfway line. Adam Coleman and Ben Tamefuna still running around out there on the field. So here's JD. Another step almost straight through. In fact, he does go through Sam Graham. Now, 30 metres out from the line. The Saints, bare minimum, if they were able to get themselves the 1 point from this game, they'd actually probably take it as a bit of a moral victory. Pollock is the future England captain. So here's DJ. And he's only 20 years old. So he could be around for another 15 years in the world of rugby. And Pollock giving it to them. Says Roof. Another step. Just losing a couple metres in the process there, Northampton. Just Fischetti. Oh, big clean out there in the breakdown from Bordeaux. They're in off their feet now, though. So the penalty is awarded to Northampton. This will give them the chance to kick it towards the corner. In fact, no, Henry Pollock decides to take it quickly. Oh, he wasn't back 10 and he's just actually decapitated the number 9. Arthur Ritterer, he looks like he is in a bit of trouble now. Took an ugly collision there. Henry Pollock took the quick tap, ran straight at him and dropped him. And he's going to be sin-binned by not going 10 by the sounds of it too. Unfortunately, it's going to have to be a sub, though. That is not going to make it popular. Okay, they have checked to see if he led with the elbow. But Henry Pollock, just knocks him down. That is an ugly one. It's a really nasty collision there. Henry Pollock dropped him. And he is still injured, but he's got a yellow card. So it means that whoever was going to make his way onto the field probably now can't. They are just going to make sure that his neck is all right. Showing him on the screen, and he is getting booed by the crowd yet again, Henry Pollock. And oh, please, you guys have already lost, says Cameron. But yeah, if they get a bonus point, it would be massive. He did just check on him there, Pollock, to which the referee does tell him to go back. And now Bordeaux. I mean, Northampton are losing, but the Bordeaux coach looked a bit more concerned there about what they're going to do. Moving forward here, Maxime Luku not playing in this game either. As Pollock, so he's effed, says Fleshin. Yeah, well, Pollock was the one who dropped the player. So he doesn't get the yellow card. But, like, that's going to be a clean out once again then, unfortunately. Oh, that guy's eyeball's bleeding. That's not good. Pollock goes over, gives him a bit of a handshake too there. Shows that he is all right, but either way, it is going to be the penalty going the way of Northampton. Okay, so penalty for not being back 10 metres, and that's going to be about 20 metres out. Okay, so now they are going to be kicking this one for the corner. I hope you guys can catch, says JD, and half a dozen to go. Almost retiring here. Can still pass another beer to you. There's some residential areas in your city where there are lads who live in New Zealand from different countries. I am in a town, like a little small town, so, like, yeah. It's a lot smaller than it's in some of the cities. All right, I'm off. Thank you for the stream. Bye. Take care all. Says Panzer, so we will see you later on. That one's going to be held in there. Great work in the breakdown from Bordeaux, and Pinot getting right in the face of the player on the ground. Just to be careful. That kind of looked like he was putting the maybe forearm on the throat. And you got to be very, very cautious when doing something like that. At least got to make sure the cameras don't see it. How's University of Auckland, in your opinion? I have never been. I've never heard of anyone going, at least in where I am. So it might be all right. We can smash teams like North Loston, says Cameron. Was that your, like, that was supposed to be a pun on Northampton, wasn't it? I realised after saying it, I was like, hang on, he's tried wordplay there. So I probably didn't give it enough credit. I don't know, Pollock. Says Roof, so it is going to be the scrum feed for Bordeaux. Salisi Reasi, he's got to be player of the match. Yes, he is. Thoroughly deserves 3 tries throughout this game. Some brilliant defence as well. Okay, referee is just having another warning to the two teams, pretty much saying if you're going to keep screaming in my face, someone's getting sent to the bin. Oh, wow. Okay, chance for Northampton on attack because of the screaming at Ollie Slateholm and the holding him down in the breakdown. It actually becomes the free kick in favour of Northampton. So they get one last chance to be able to add some additional points for Shitties over the line. That's going to be a try. And just like that, Bordeaux have gifted Northampton the opportunity to get the extra point. For Shitty, he's been off the field for a majority of this game. But 26 points to 50 now the score. 76 points total in this game just at this point. They're just checking to see if he was down already. You're allowed one move, and that kind of looked like a second one, to be fair. They're saying that they're complaining about crawling and double movement, so they may just check this one to see if it is going to be all right or whether they will have to go back again. Crowd are booing big time. Right, they are going to stop and have a look at it now. Okay, they're just saying there that they're going to restart the shot clock if the try does stand. When you lot and George did some crazy stuff in the entertainment. I remember that one video displaying cute girl. George was feeling a blush. Why was that? Says Peps, I would say he probably liked the girl. I would say. And Pollock seems to be the whole Saints team. Oh, Pollock dropped me beer. Says JD. So it's whether or not the knee is down initially. Because there is a little half shuffle afterwards. Pinot is a great player, but he might be as big of a personality as Pollock for the same reasons, says Fleshin. Right, try stands. So the bonus point awarded to Northampton, so they will leave this game with 1 point. We've still got another 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Just looking at this group again, ladies and gents, in terms of the way that it sits, it means that Bordeaux will go into first on 15 points. Northampton, they will be in third on 11 points. And that actually means that no one from below, in terms of Poe, Scarlets, or Bulls, can catch them. They are guaranteed top 3. Alongside also alongside Bordeaux and Bristol. There we go. We'll go like that. Like they're saying, losing bonus points could be absolutely crucial. They're just saying they're Bordeaux and Bristol. They'll be surprised if they don't see bonus points for both teams. We have there, Hamish. I know you, mate. When it comes to the entertainment channel, you act wild. But in here, you act calm, says Pep. See, the key, I think George has worked this out. He often wants to film when I've done an all-nighter because he knows that the more tired I get, the more, like, being drunk I get. So he knows if we film at a random hour, after I've been up for, like, 30 hours, I lose my filter. But that's going to be another penalty to Bordeaux. The opportunity to add 3 extra points or go for the corner again and try and get some more tries on the board. Or they can just close out the time, slowly wear it away, maybe go for a scrum or a line out. Oh, yep, they've gone for the scrum option. So if there's a scrum reset, that'll use up another 20, 30 seconds off of the clock. Just the 90 seconds now remaining between these two sides. Now, referee calls for the bind. The ball's going to be fed in. I believe that's actually Joey Carberry who is feeding the scrum, although it's come out almost on the side of the Northampton Saints. Nope, front row stand up. Henry Pollock not too happy. It looks like Bentame Funa may end up... Oh no, he's got up. It looked like he was going to stay down for a little bit. I met Pinot in Cardiff and he's huge. Says Fleshin. And also time is almost up. And the scoreline is someone who's terrible at playing Rugby Challenge online. And quits for 4 full times, says JD. Yeah. Or when I try and play Rugby 25 on the hardest difficulty with all the glitches. It's normally about the scoreline you'd see. That game had potential, didn't it? And I don't even know if they're still updating it. I'd like to think that they are, but very hard to tell. Can't even customize teams on it, though. So that's quite sad. 17 seconds remaining. Bordeaux with another scrum feed. Carberry goes off to the right-hand side. Running it high was Rohan Jansi van Rensburg. They're still down again. Carberry off to the right. Who's winning series or Toulouse? I'd say Toulouse will sneak it, even though they're away from home. I just feel like with the team that they've selected, if they play well, they should win. But Saracens are not an easy side to beat. Definitely when they're fired up. So I think they will be for that game. The fact that Dupont is playing for Toulouse, they'll feel like they have a point to prove. Now losing a few metres. Mathieu, first carry for him in quite some time. He is dragged down. Carberry loses it backwards and then gets driven backwards by the Saints defence. Bordeaux are playing here for a points differential. Big Bentame Funa bumping off a couple. Moves to 25 metres out from the line. Carberry again goes right. The last thing that Bordeaux want, though, is to have it cost a massive run from their number 17, Pouchon. Now picked up by Jansi van Rensburg. That one was ripped away, but was it legally done? I'm not so sure. Pollock will go off to the short side. George Hendy now passes one more. And ball ripped straight back, this time by Cameron Wacky. Seems like neither of these sides want this game to end. But I don't know how much there is actually to gain from this game. That's going to be knocked on now. And that will be the end of the contest. 50 points to 28. That's a high score and one. It has kind of fit in with the mould of what has happened all throughout this weekend. And we have got there Jamie Roberts was the surprisingly best rugby player I have met in the flesh. There's flesh in there. Nonetheless, Bordeaux, they'll be happy. They've increased their points differential, 22 extra points in their favour. They moved to number 1 in this group ahead of Bristol, who they do play next week, in what will be an incredible game of rugby between the sides. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back next week with plenty more Champions Cup, as well as some sevens slotting in there too. But thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all for the next one.